it is Jay back with another video. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today. It's very transparent and it's very honest and it's very just being is really just being really open with you guys about a certain thing that I was going through. So what I want to talk about is one of my previous videos. Someone had commented, one of my friends, and said like talk about more about the situation that I went through, my dad passing. So and the peace and how, I got through that process. And I understand why, she will want to hear about that, and just other people just hearing about somebody else's experience of losing a loved one and how to get through that. And I'm just going to tell you my experience. So last year, July 21st, 2016, my dad passed. So it was just a really, really, really tough process. And so it really wasn't like it was a surprise, but it was more of, goodness, he's gone. So that's really, really heavy. And I'm going to talk about the peace. The peace was, okay, so before my dad had passed, before he was admitted to the hospital, a week prior before he had got admitted, like the last few weeks before he passed, like I had a heaviness on my heart to really be in prayer and to really just like be in devotion, or to be reading the Bible and just praying. So I really had a heaviness to just do that. So being a mother, being a wife, and all the other stuff, it just seemed like time always gets past me. Like I never have enough time to do everything, whether it's cooking, cleaning, whatever it may be. So, and I was breastfeeding at the time. I was pumping and all that other stuff. So that was just another thing. So I will wake up at like 3, 4, or 5 in the morning. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pump and then I'm going to go get in prayer and I'm going to actually read the Bible. So I made that decision to do that. And it was tough at first because, of course, it makes sense just to go back to sleep in, because I got so much to do. The kids will be up in a few hours. But I was like, I really want to make that sacrifice because I had a heavy weight, just to urge, a desire to really be in prayer, to really seek God. So I just sacrificed, and I was doing it consistently, like every day, waking up between the hours of 4 and 5, in the morning, to really be in prayer. So when my dad was going through all that stuff that he was going through, it was like, I don't know if anybody like ever went through this. When you're the oldest child or relatives or whatever it may be, the doctors will sit around and talk to you about everything, their health, and basically making a decision about how to go forward with their health, or what's going to be the decision making. So I was the only one in the room. It was very, very hard. So it was a heavy weight on me, because you hear all the negative stuff the doctors are going to say, and it's just like my faith was just crazy. Like, Lord, you're going to heal him. He's going to come out of this, da da da. So I had that strong faith. But then as the days kept prolonging, I just felt the weight of him passing, the weight of having to make decisions, the weight of dealing with him even possibly dying. So I was just like, you know what? I'm still gonna have faith. So it was this one time I felt like I was being suffocated. It just felt like I was being suffocated and choked out in my throat. Like, it was so crazy. So I just felt suffocated. And then my husband was like, let's just worship. And I was like, you know what? Okay. And we prayed and we worshiped. And then I had the most crazy peace that was over my whole body. Like, it was like a weight, all the weight just dissipated. And it was just, I felt like I was floating, literally floating. And the next day, so the following week after that, they called me and told me that he had passed. And I was in the hospital room, just sitting there with my dad. And I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, why would you give me this peace as if he was going to live? Like he was going to come out of this. And he told me that I didn't give you the peace that he was going to live. I gave you the peace that he was going to be with me. And then I just cried and I just thanked them. I thanked them so much, because it was so liberating and such a freedom and a peace. Like, it wasn't a peace that I thought that it wasn't like the peace. So I had the peace, but it wasn't how I thought it was going to be. It's like I still had that peace, but the result wasn't for him to live, but to be with God. And I was grateful. But prior to that, all those weeks that I was in devotion, he was preparing me. I have notes on top of notes about not worrying, about trusting God, and just knowing that he thinks of me. And so it's like all these devotions and everything that I was studying, it was lining up, and he was preparing me for the peace that he was giving me. So I think it was more easy for me to get through it because the Lord loved me enough to that as I made a sacrifice to get in prayer, to get in worship, to really seek him out, that he was preparing me to be able to be stronger. And of course I cry sometimes or whatever. Like yesterday was the first time I cried in like probably 3 months since he passed. And the 21st, which was 2 days before my birthday, that marked 6 months since he's been gone. And I just want to make this video to tell people that from my experience, me sacrificing, so it prepared me to be able to be stronger. Once I sought him out and he prepared me, and it showed me how much he loved me because he knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know he knew it was going to happen. So it was like, I just thought that I was just seeking him. But it wasn't until after he passed that I knew that seeking him, he had a purpose and behind it. It increased my faith even more that the Lord really sees that I go through certain things. But he loved me enough to prepare me, to give me encouraging words, to talk to me. And it just showed me so much of how he loved me. So I want to encourage everybody just from my own experience with dealing with death, that don't let the result of your parents passing, don't let that, I don't know, I just couldn't blame God because it's not him. It showed me that he don't desire for me to hurt, be in pain or nothing like that. He don't desire me to just go through all these bad things, but he loved me enough to prepare me mentally, to prepare. I felt strong, not just for myself, but for my family, for my brothers, for my sister. So this is just to encourage everybody else. Like, I don't know what your relationship is with the Lord or whatever it may be, but I honestly can say it was only God who helped me get through that situation. He gave me a peace that not only lasted for me to deal with when he actually passed, but even now. He prepared me before he died. He prepared me after he died. So through his transitioning from him living to passing away, that I was able to really rely on the peace of God and the strength that he gave me. So I'm here to encourage everybody else. Pray. Seek him, because it's like when all else failed, it's like he was there. God was there. I just had to share to everybody who's watching my testimony or the experience I had dealing with the death and the peace that he gave me. It wasn't until I was able to really seek him out and go hard in devotion, go hard in seeking him, that he was preparing me for something so tragic, which is my dad passing. So I encourage everybody else, like, if you can't believe whatever the Bible say, believe me from what I'm saying, because this is transparent to the T. Like, if you're not going to believe off your own situation or whatever it may be, believe me what I'm saying. This is true. It is possible to have a peace in tragic situations. So I love you guys so much, and I really hope that you be able to understand exactly what I'm saying, that there's a peace, that the Lord would equip you with certain tools that you need to get through certain situations. So I love you guys so much, and I hope this really encourages other people that may be dealing with death or have faced dealing with death before.